October 29, 2012. Storm Legacy. The cyclone known as Hurricane Sandy made landfall near Atlantic City, New Jersey, as a post-tropical cyclone with sustained winds near 80 miles per hour and a central pressure around 945 millibars. This event came after Sandy's evolution through the Caribbean and Bahamas, where it at one point attained major hurricane status before undergoing extratropical transition. The landfall zone was just northeast of Atlantic City, officially near Brigantine, New Jersey, at about 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The historical significance of Sandy's landfall lies in multiple dimensions: meteorological, infrastructural, economic, and societal. Meteorologically, the storm's size and characteristics diverged from typical Atlantic hurricanes. Although no longer purely tropical at landfall, Sandy retained hurricane-force winds and drove a powerful storm surge into the mid-Atlantic coast. The storm surge along the New Jersey and New York coasts reached several meters above mean sea level. For example, measured residuals ranged from 1.57 meters to 4.44 meters in some stations from New Jersey to Connecticut. In New Jersey, one gauge recorded a surge of 8.57 feet above normal tide levels. The timing of the landfall, near a high tide, and the storm's large wind field combined to amplify flood impacts across coastal communities. In infrastructural terms, Sandy disrupted critical systems across the region. Flooding in New York City inundated subway tunnels and transportation infrastructure, and the storm damaged rail systems in New Jersey with estimates near $400 million. The power grid suffered heavily. Millions of customers lost electricity across multiple states, with the outage in New Jersey affecting approximately 2.7 million customers alone. The event underscored vulnerabilities in critical infrastructure in densely populated coastal regions. Economically, Sandy ranks among the costliest weather disasters in United States history up to that time. Preliminary U.S. damage estimates place the loss near $50 billion, with some analyses later placing higher values. In the state of New Jersey alone, damage estimates reached approximately $30 billion, making Sandy the most costly natural disaster in the state's history. The scale of economic disruption extended from housing and business losses to energy interruption, transportation stoppages, and long-term recovery challenges. Societally, the landfall of Sandy prompted massive evacuations, emergency declarations, and exposed how large storm systems can affect both urban and suburban communities. Although exact death tolls vary by source, one assessment counted at least 72 direct fatalities in 8 states, including 12 in New Jersey and 48 in New York. The event demonstrated how a storm transitioning to post-tropical status could still deliver life-threatening hazards, challenging assumptions about storm classification and public safety measures. Moreover, Sandy's landfall catalyzed policy and planning responses aimed at coastal resilience. Post-storm evaluations by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration assessed federal, state, and local response actions and the implications for future hazard mitigation. The storm's impacts influenced considerations of sea level rise, storm surge modeling, and infrastructure adaptation in the years that followed. The event also holds a place in historical precedent because of its timing, late in the hurricane season, and its unusual path. Sandy tracked into higher latitudes and struck the coastline near a major urban center, at a time when Atlantic storms typically recurve away from the coast. This contributed to its exceptional nature. The combination of high tide, storm size, surge, and urban exposure converged to create an event whose legacy extends beyond meteorology into urban planning, climate preparation, and disaster policy. In summary, the landfall of Hurricane Sandy near Atlantic City on October 29, 2012, marks a historically significant moment in American disaster history. It illustrated how post-tropical systems can produce hurricane-like consequences, how coastal infrastructure and urban systems confront extreme storm surge, and how economic losses at scale challenge recovery systems. It triggered renewed focus on resilience in coastal zones, informed policy efforts, and remains a reference point for understanding modern storm risk along densely populated coastlines. For enthusiasts of historical ephemera, visit history-collectors.com to find collectibles that might complement your collection. You can own a piece of history.